children. He was named a justice of the peace and performed marriages, posting the notices in a large birch tree in front of his house.
Was that the young Armstrong boy you were speaking to?
Yes. He's about getting married to the young Scott girl.
Ah, yes. That would be Mary. I think her parents despaired of ever marrying her off. She must be almost 23. Very sturdy girl. She'll be a good helpmate. And he looks like a good provider.
I told him there would be tea.
Of course. Every bride and groom deserves a little celebration. They say we'll have our very own minister next year to relieve you of this burdensome task.
I should say that performing marriages is the least burdensome of my duties.
He did
I
that.
was only teasing you, my dear husband. I will bind these up for the bride to hold. She will feel a very pretty bride.
I shall need my black frock coat brushed.
It will be. I was looking for something the other day, and I noticed that someone had been into the large traveling chest.
Oh?
Things were quite disarrayed.
Oh.
It seems that someone had removed the contents and then replaced them. Quite untidily, I might add.
Oh, well, perhaps the kitchen girl was looking for something. Or maybe one of the grandchildren? Oh, all right. I confess, it was me. I was just looking. I wanted to...
You wanted to see if your uniform still fit.
Well, I have kept myself rather well these past years, haven't I? I haven't grown overly stout. I work hard. I keep limber.
You are as handsome and as dashing as the day I married you, 34 years ago.
Perhaps a bit too prideful.
You deserve to be prideful. A lesser man would have broken under the mantle of command. You did not. What stirred this desire to root through your past?
Oh, I received a letter from John Moran, his father, William. He served in my company when we marched from Fredericton to Kingston in 1813. William was a good soldier and a very clever tailor. He sewed many a loose button and torn seam for the men. That letter brought memories of that.
You were a good and loyal soldier. First in America, and then with the 104th Regiment of Foot. There was no better captain to his men, to lead them. It was a dreadful time.
We were 554 men, 6 divisions, near 700 miles of marching through snow and cold and wind. Oh, the wind was fierce. Supplies low. The Grenadier were the first to leave on February 16. We followed the next day. Light Company last on the 21st. That first day was almost festive. The people from York and Sunbury rallied around us and took us by sleigh on the first leg. It lightened our steps hearing their cheers. And then, breaking trail, long days of breaking trail. It took a month to reach Quebec City. It was a welcome sight, although we were needed as replacement guards and sentries, so there was no respite for the men. And then on to Kingston in May. When we had amassed, we crossed the river at Sackett's Harbor. And then...
You lost men.
We did. Damaged our reputation by retreating.
There's no shame in retreat. You needed to find another path, and our country prevailed.
Oh, that we did, eventually, at some cost. You are wise. Is that why I asked you to marry me? Hi, Erskine. John Erskine.
Good day, sir. Mrs. Bradley.
Good day.
Good to see you, man. Come over to the house. We were just about to have tea.
Well, thank you, sir. Ma'am. But I can't delay. I'm off to Perth for a trial. I've been summoned as a juror, and I'm needed tomorrow morning. Fair walk, so I best keep moving.
A fair walk, mate. Oh, the hard staggering bare feet. Where are your boots, man?
Worn clean through. Not worth repairing. They served me well for 8 years, and I'll be after a new pair once I get my pay.
Did they advance you nothing on account?
No, sir. I've not been sworn in yet, so I'm not on the roll. But I'll be fine. The road is dry, and my feet are tough.
Nonsense. I'll not see a good man walking bare feet for 35 miles. We're about the same size. You'll take mine. That way, when you get your pay, you can buy a new pair and return mine.
No, sir. No. I couldn't. And then what would you wear?
Oh, he'll manage. Perhaps he'll even put his feet up and rest instead of tearing about the township at everyone's beck and call.
You are a kind man, sir. Not many would be as generous.
And as Justice of the Peace, I can also swear you in now. You will have your attestation, and they can render the account as soon as the trial finishes. I know the clerk over in Perth. He's a man of somewhat slow process. If you wait until he administers the oath and renders the account, why, you may never purchase a pair of new boots, and I may be barefoot for all of eternity. Now, come over to the house, and we'll get things settled, and you can be on your way. You might look up Thomas Jackman. I've heard he makes a sturdy pair of boots at a fair price. O'Brien, too. Where do you plan to be lodging?
Well, my uncle there runs the saddlery, and I'll be staying with him for the time that I'm there. John Ferrier.
Would he be married to your mother's sister, Emma?
That's right, ma'am.
William Brown Bradley.